I do with it?
Save it to your photos.
And then I have people who come to events like this, they just have it on their save screen. So they can use
Gee,
it.
I wonder who that is. So it's
Right,
actually, you
yeah.
can lock it on your phone. So if you're ever at an event, you can be good to go. So, and
Worth the cost of admission.
I know, right? I always like to start off with something fun. So we're gonna actually tune in right now. So I'm actually gonna have my phone on me. I'm not typically that speaker, but today it's kind of fun. Perfect. And we are live on LinkedIn. So I'm gonna turn this down. So welcome to the LinkedIn community do's and don'ts, right? So the do's, don'ts, and phone pods. So if you've got, everybody has their phone script shared with their LinkedIn QR code. One of the things that you're also going to do now that you have it, I want you to take that QR code, turn to a neighbor, and scan theirs. And then you can connect. I know, this is crazy.
So mine is a picture on my phone.
So we're gonna warm up with this and get everybody connected. So you will walk out of this room with 2 tips. One, a brand new person in your network. So make sure to connect to everybody.
It's not in my network. Oh, so let me go back to LinkedIn.
I know, so walk around, connect to everybody.
You.
So for those of you joining us online, we're downloading the QR code. And if you want, you can scan this screen.
It's so fun.
You'll actually can scan my QR code as well.
Once again, mine.
So,
The experience.
Trying to download the app now.
oh
Take your time.
It's all good. It's good to have you. It's always nice to be here.
Right.
And you're spelled the correct way.
Right.
So if you're logging in and joining us live on LinkedIn,
And then you just scan both or?
definitely check out and download your QR code from your phone.
That's nice.
And if we aren't connected yet, I know some of you already are, go ahead and scan mine on the screen. But you're gonna see that mine's a little different. So mine actually says follow when you pull up my profile. So what you'll do when it says follow is you'll actually then click the 3 dots to the right, and then you'll see the option to connect with me. The reason is because I wanna make sure that first people are following me, and then they're connecting with me.
No, I'm already following you.
I know, you're doing both, it's lovely. So welcome to Jogga Library for those of you who are here.
I'm already following.
So we're doing the wonderful QR code hack.
Okay, cool.
So have a seat, we're good. Hi, it's so good to see everybody. So once we get there, we're gonna go through our agenda. So today's agenda is gonna be packed full of all kinds of information. First things first, we're gonna talk about the social media shift that has happened since the pandemic, right? Then we're gonna dive in and talk about LinkedIn 101. We're gonna follow that by talking about leveraging your LinkedIn profile from why and how. The more of the how, I'm gonna defer to Mellor Marketing. So we'll write that down and we'll talk through that later. We're also gonna do some activities where we talk about creating the feed you want. How many of you want to log into LinkedIn daily but never find the time? How many of you are like, oh my God, it's just another feed I have to follow like Facebook? Here's the cool thing. There are ways you can get the algorithm to work for you. So in order to do that, we're gonna control the algorithm. We're gonna play some tricks, make some lists, and do some collaborative efforts today. Next on our list, we're also going to talk about growing our network. So already in this room and on LinkedIn Live, we have countless different people to connect with. We're gonna kind of play the 6 degrees of separation game. And we're gonna talk about different ways and 5 easy steps to really grow your network. Then we're gonna talk about that powerful word, engaging. You need to engage your community. The way the LinkedIn algorithm works is you have to be present and engaged in LinkedIn to get things to come through your feed. Just having a profile is like 20% of it. 80% of it is all the effort you do. So it's the whole Pareto principle, all right? So the next piece, we're gonna do Q&A. So I want you to do something for me real quick, and I want you to write down one thing you want to take away today from today's session. So looking at this agenda, what's one of the sections you definitely want to have a takeaway, and then feel free to share. So it could be a takeaway regarding, I just want to know a creative post I can do weekly. I want to know a hack of how to build it into my schedule. I want to know why my colleague's profile gets more views than my profile. I want to have a great book to read. I want to know a page to follow that has motivational, inspirational, positive things, because I'm completely drained of news. Okay? So take that minute and write that down for me. And if you don't mind, I'd love you to share. So what's one thing you want to walk away with today? A hack? Ooh, girl, I love it. Lori knows my brain because I already have 2 hacks built in that I'll show you in a little bit of quick and easy ways. And Sonia can actually share, we used a hack, this one of the hacks I'm gonna share, we used with a mutual friend of ours. She's been showcased in LinkedIn News, what, 3 or 4 times now?
Yeah.
Every time we turn around, she's sending us a message, I was featured in LinkedIn News, I was featured in LinkedIn News. Anyone else wanna share what you wanna walk with?
Be engaged in your community, with your community, and just content for me and my business.
Love it. What else?
More engagement on content posts.
Ooh, love that, okay. Okay. So let's dive in. So let's talk about the social media shift, right? So here's what we know from the social media shift, and I'm walking around. So for those of you on LinkedIn Live, if you're getting nauseous, I'm going to apologize in advance. So here's what we know from recent research. 45% of LinkedIn users are in upper management. 80% of B2B leads are generated via LinkedIn. 80%. The next thing we know is 57 million businesses and 120,000 schools are on LinkedIn. Let that resonate for a second. 57 million businesses and 120,000 schools and academic institutions can be found on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Do you have a number on the, like the percentage that is like new businesses?
Good question. I don't, but I can get it for you. So if you write that down. Next one, we know that 92% of B2B marketers prefer LinkedIn. So if you are a B2B business, most of your marketing professionals are preferring LinkedIn. We also know, this is the interesting part, that 2 hours and 22 minutes a day is the average time we spend on social media. I don't know about you, but that's a little rattling.
All right.
You bet. And I will share this presentation if you'd like it later.
Oh, okay.
If that would help, I can. So we're gonna do LinkedIn basics. So if you have your laptop, pull up your LinkedIn. If you don't have your laptop and would prefer to just pull it up on your phone, great. I want you to pull up this screen. And we're gonna go through a quick, just for today, I wanna do a basic rundown for you of what we're gonna talk about on this homepage, all right? So first things first, we talked about network, right? So down and dirty, this is your network. It's where you find them, where you sort them, where you organize them. Think about it like a virtual Rolodex, okay? Next, we're gonna talk about notifications. Notifications are all those alerts. It's kind of like your social media feed on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. This is where a lot of your alerts are gonna come in. You can also control this via email. You can get email alerts. I don't know about you, but I turn those off. This is what many people consider the arch nemesis, the dark cloud. I don't want to write a post. No one wants to hear me. No one wants to hear from me. I don't know what my business is going to allow me to do. But this is something we'll make it simple, easy, and protect you from doing anything crazy, right? Next piece. This is the general feed. So everything below that start a post is your general news feed. Now, that doesn't mean the next part is your LinkedIn news. We're going to talk about this later as one of the hacks, but this is where the top trending stories are consistently on LinkedIn. So if you're like, I don't have time in my day to go through all of this, LinkedIn news is going to be one of your... No, you're okay. No, you're good.
That's you talking.
That's me talking. That's fabulous. I love that I have an echo voice. We also have the search feature. So the search feature is up here. This is going to be incredibly powerful for you because search is one of the most underrated tools that I can think of for job seekers, for marketing professionals, for posts. So think of it like the Google of LinkedIn, right? Okay. So those are our LinkedIn basics. Talk about leveraging your profile. I'm going to run through this fast so we can get to the really fun nitty-gritty stuff. All right. First things first, make sure you are providing an inviting professional headshot. Here is why. 93% of our first impressions are all nonverbal. To control that, what we think about when we think about that is eyes forward, head cropped, right? Even if your hair's a little off the screen, it's okay. The graphic designer in the room will tell you, our brains, right, imagine.
Fill in the blank.
It fills in the blanks, right? Having a professional headshot that really focuses on your face and your smile is incredibly powerful because 44% more invitations are sent to those with headshots than those without headshots. If you have your headshot private, unless you have a stalker, please consider having it, right? Question, yes, ma'am.
No question, just a comment to reiterate how important that is.
Yeah.
People can tell if it's a selfie. You may not think that they can, but they can. It's worth the investment to do it.
Absolutely. And you can get some really good deals with local headshot. So we have two other things to think about. Your background photo, I want you to consider this an analogy. The background photo, which is what's behind your head, all right? Think of it like a billboard for you. Literally, if I'm driving by LinkedIn and all of a sudden, whew, I see this billboard, do I want something that's filled with all kinds of gobbledygook, or do I want something that's clean, coherent, creative, and has a very succinct message, right? Maybe your contact information, maybe the tagline of your business, maybe your mission, maybe a photo that you took of your city skyline, okay? Here's another reason why. I want you to go ahead and look up me, if you have your mobile device on you, in LinkedIn. So just type in my first name in the search. And the reason I say this is because when you start to look at this, look at what comes next to after the name. If I type in Brenda, that's your headline. It gives you a teaser. So what does mine say? No.
I still Megan.
MEGAN.
Engagement director.
Bingo, right? ... So why that is so important is we know in marketing that people are intrigued by that ... right? Words that aren't completely finished makes them go, ooh, I want to click more. Just naturally, that's how our psyches work, okay? The other reason I say the billboard, I love Ariel's shot. Ariel Lee is, you know, very clearly by looking at her headline, what she does, right? So let's go back to that one. So Ariel Lee at the bottom, right? The next one, we also know that making your URL marketing compatible. Here's what that means. Everybody in this room has a personal URL that they could be leveraging on LinkedIn. It's true. It could be linkedin.com/in/Megan Boges, /Sonia Pastor, /Yolanda Abernathy, /Aging Services Guru, whatever you want it to be, but you want it to be marketing compatible. So if you ever drop it in chat when you're in a Zoom, hey, everybody connect with me, dropping this in. If you want it on your business card.
So can you edit it, because it says edit profile and
Exactly.
URL.
Yes.
When I go over to it, it's like this awful.
Yeah, hit the pencil. Yeah, that's right. So you're gonna hit the pencil on it,
Okay.
and you're gonna be able to edit it. So if you go to your about section, we'll talk about this later. You go to your about section, hit edit profile in URL, you'll have a section. Take out all those numbers. Nobody wants J Smith 3672921. Right? So that's another thing. Expand your location to a region. Especially if you are in sales, marketing, or business development, consider the fact that you want to focus on a region that you are in because you're going to pull from a larger audience. Not, oh, I'm in Chardon, Ohio. Well, let's be honest. Chardon, Ohio is great, but greater Cleveland has a bigger pool. You can edit all of this in your settings feature, okay? Other things this will also help you gaining attraction when people search for you.
Here you go. Is that URL renaming just an alias and that long string of numbers is still valid? You
Yeah.
just put it- So you can change it a couple times and you're not losing previous links.
Yeah, it should still work.
Right.
Yeah, it should still work, yeah. So next one, update your contact information. Oh, law, please, y'all. Can we not? Go in, hit edit contact information. There's nothing, you all have done it, right? You've seen somebody else's contact page and it's like their high school email address. And you're like, oh, please. The other thing is you have capacity, leverage that. Share your 3 websites, drop them down as, put 3 websites in there. Put a good phone number, maybe not your cell phone unless you are okay with the world having your cell phone. Okay. The next thing is your education. I want to go back though, sorry, about section. Highlight what about you makes you, right? Highlight what about you makes you you. Your about section is 2,400 characters available. Tell me what's not in your resume. Tell me what's not written in your job history. Tell me one of my superpowers is customer insights. I can sit in a room and tell you who wants to hear what, why, and where. One of my superpowers is learning how to make small talk when people feel anxious. All right. Those are my superpowers. No, those aren't on my resume, but your superpowers are something to also consider in your about section. Here's a hack. Wanted your hack? Write your about section in a Word document first. Do your character count, share it with a friend. Consider it your professional Match.com profile. Okay? Have a friend look it over. Have someone who's written you a letter of reference look it over. See if it makes sense to them. Think about the reader on the other end. Do bullets work better than paragraphs? Do the pipe symbol, that line, I think is over 8. I have to check that. Does that make more sense to use a pipe symbol in between things than a comma? I don't know about you, but when I see a string of commas, I'm like, oh, next page. So think about it aesthetically too, and then copy and paste it. Because unfortunately, LinkedIn doesn't save drafts.
It does not.
No, it does not, Sonia. And I've had this where you're typing this beautiful about section, and then your internet times out, and you're like, oh, fantastic. There went my entire creative stuff, okay? Identify your industry. There's a whole list. Meller Marketing or Brenda Meller has a great access to see that whole comprehensive list. Show and tell with your experience. If you look at my profile or Christopher Johnson's or Simon Sinek's, you'll see in each of your experience section, you can show and tell with videos, PDFs, other documents. So it's not just words on a page. So when you're filling in your experience, why people want to see other features is because we like visuals. To the graphic designer in the room, would we rather see a logo than a word? Right? We remember logos, we remember visuals. So in your experience section, go down to the add attachments, upload video. Do you have a great YouTube video that you've just done for your business? Put the link there, right? Do you have a picture, Yolanda, of you, or a video of you being a sommelier? Get it in there because people love that. They're going to click through on that. That's why we want to show and tell, right? With your experience. We want you to also max out your skills, right? Maxing out your skills is really important. You have a capacity of adding 50 skills. I can guarantee you some of us in the room have imposter syndrome and have been like, I'm barely good at 5 things. Well, let's level up, y'all. Put 50 skills on there. Even if you've done it, you can rank them on what 3 skills show up first, but having all 50 helps you come up in the search engine and in the algorithm more often, okay? You also want to see 99 plus endorsements on those skills because it looks better to a recruiter, even if you have a job and you're loving it, who doesn't love being connected with a headhunter who's like, I've got a $3 million job for you in the beach in the Greek Isles. Would you like to go? Right? So max out your skills. Showcase your volunteering. Who here has a heart, right? So thinking online, if you have if you're on LinkedIn Live right now, think about your volunteering for a second. That matters. Some people, so Brenda Meller from Meller Marketing, who I work with hand in hand a lot, who's fantastic. And I talk about if you have a board position in a volunteering job, put it in your experience section. There's a drop-down option to say it's a volunteer project. But there's also a separate volunteer section if you just work at the food bank, if you participated in Relay for Life, if you've done the Gathering Place, you've done their, list that. But if you're a board member, give yourself a little props for it, right? Show your versatility and your compassion in that regard, all right? Here's the next one, highlight your interests. So this is something that's really important to me, and I'll tell you why. Highlighting your interests is something that matters because it's also what is going to control your newsfeed, all right? Who you're following, what you're following, and the organizations you're following are very, very important. Now, I'm going to do a shout out. This is who I just talked about, Brenda Meller. I don't know who doesn't like pie and coffee, but Brenda and I definitely love pie and coffee. This is Brenda Meller in her book. Brenda's outstanding. I went through the why we should do some of this stuff. Brenda tells you how and what to do in a deeper dive. So if you really want to level up, follow her on Meller Marketing on LinkedIn. Also follow her for more constant tips, all right, on here's what and how. Then what we're gonna do, now we are gonna do a fun activity now that you have all these jobs in.
Did you talk about creator mode?
Yeah, so creator mode is limited to certain people. So creator mode gives you different options and benefits to have videos. It's this one. Thank you, Yolanda. Yolanda's going to help us out and get coffee for the day. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do a little activity. All right? So for those of you online, I'm going to help you out with this one for a second. I don't have it attached, but you can follow along and I'll share this with you later. So let's see how we're doing. Oh, it's so good. Sandra is online. Love it. Shout out to Ariel Lee. Agreed. Thank you, everyone. I'm multitasking. If you didn't know this already, I've got 2 different cameras and 2 different laptops going. So please bear with us. And thank you for your patience, okay? So here's what we got going on. We're going to do a who and what starter sheet. This is going to be a group activity. So for those of you on LinkedIn Live, feel free to chime in. All right? So we're going to spend a couple minutes doing this because we're doing all right on time, actually. Pretty good. All right. So this who and what to follow sheet is a great tool for you to start with going through and following organizations. I've listed the first column with some pretty good ideas, some popular ones that I like to follow. Now, the second column. What I want you to start with is looking at it and going, great. Name a chamber of commerce that's local. If you're here, you know the Jogga West Chamber of Commerce was just started again. You might want to follow them. The Middleburg Heights Chamber of Commerce. The Northern Ohio Area Chamber of Commerce. List some chambers of commerces.
So how do you follow? Did you tell us that?
Not yet. We're just filling, you're 2 steps ahead of me. We're just filling out the worksheet first and then we'll go to follow later.
Okay.
Yeah, so just fill out the worksheet. And then we will thank you to run through the signatures. Okay. So list a couple chamber of commerce you can follow, okay? Now list your favorite books and authors. Other chambers, the Greater Akron Chamber of Commerce, the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce, the Middleburg Heights Chamber of Commerce, Copley, Chardon, no, that's Jogga West, right? Chardon.
No, Chardon has
Chardon has their own, okay.
West G is now Chesterland, West G.
Detroit, I think it's the Troy Chamber of Commerce in Michigan. The Cuyahoga County has multiple within there. There's the LGBT Chamber of Commerce as well, and I'm trying to remember what it is. But we've got all those. So take a few minutes and this is to give you who do you want to see in your newsfeed, right? Local podcast, 5 easy things. The host is in the room. Right? Who else? Simon Sinek. The Sinek Institute is in there. Franklin Covey. There's all kinds of, so this is just your kind of get started list. Then we're going to go through and search for these. I'll be honest, I almost showed you how many things I'm following on my profile, it's over 700. I'm not expecting you to do that. This is just kind of your let's get started.
Sandra Wynn says, tell Megan collaborative chamber.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. The Collaborative Chamber Alliance is a wonderful chamber alliance that includes Copley, Berea,
It's gonna be Fairlawn or something, or
Yeah.
Akron, or Cuyahoga Falls.
Yeah,
or something
it's
that's in
all
that
of-
area.
yeah, thank you. It's all of those. Trying to remember all the chambers. I am not Cindy Holtzheimer, another great person to follow, but other things. Following WIN, the Women in Networking Group. Following, let's see what else? New York Life. So just thinking of this can also help kind of walk through. Once you kind of do this, we're gonna pause and shift gears. So we've kind of made it through different parts of our agenda, and now we're gonna talk about connecting. So when everybody's ready, just let me know, and we'll dive into the next. This part is interactive, so if you're with me on LinkedIn Live, I will tell you the best part to do this is to just follow along with the graph, and I will send you a PDF later. My appointments ran over this morning, so I did not get a chance to get these emailed and posted beforehand, but I will send them to anyone who's attending on LinkedIn Live, I promise you. So, can everybody count down from 5? Right? So I want you to pay close attention to the 5s in this part. We're going to talk about growing your network. The magic number is 500. How many in this room have actually 500 connections?
I like 5,000.
Yeah. She's like, no. Right? 500 is that magic number that you want to get up over, right? So we're going to talk about different ways you may not have thought about connecting, because the goal of engaging with the community is the more people you reach, right? So if we play the 6 degrees of separation game, so I love this equation, and we'll go through it. So there's a research project that said, on average, a person will meet upwards of 10,000 people in a lifetime. If we calculate that, according to Reddit, that means that the average person ages at about 78.3 years old. And we remember on average about, give or take, everybody we meet after 5, 365 days in a year, age 78.3 minus 5 standard deviation, ready? There's 80,000 people you know. I know, right? It's insane. 80,000 people. Now, yes, we have to boil that down to who are my business contacts, who are my personal contacts, who are the people that motivate me, who are the people I want to be connected to, who don't I want to be connected to. But if you think if there's 80,000 people we could think of, let's talk through the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 ways to grow your network. All right. So diving in first, here we go. These are 5 categories to consistently look at weekly. Now, in these 5 categories, every week I recommend you contact 2 people in each category. That's 10 people a week that you reach out to. Say, let's pipe dream. 100% acceptance on you send an invitation. We'll talk about that later on how to send a personalized invite. 2 people a week in each of the 5 categories. That puts you at 40 a month. And what's 4 times 12?
48.
Yeah, so 480 a year on average. You want to up that? Do 5 people in each category. Monday, you're going to work on 5 of your clients. Tuesday, you're going to work on colleagues. Wednesday, you're going to look at entrepreneurs. Thursday, industry peers. Friday, thought leaders. That seem manageable? Or break it down weekly, right? So even go, first week of the month, I'm doing all my clients. I'm going to do 10 clients. Second week of the month, I'm going to do all colleagues. And I'll show you a hack to find some colleagues of companies you want. Next week, entrepreneurs. Following week, industry peers. Then let's shift. 4 communities. So you've got 5 types of connections, 4 types of communities you could be growing your network in. All right? 1, alumni. There's a fun little hack. If you look at the alumni list on your phone and you pull up your alumni, this is mine. This is Kent State alumni. Now, yes, the box isn't this hazy yellow. This section, if you are part of the group, the alumni group, you will see a button that says Invite Connections. The second you click that, what you can't see, well, you can, 136. I'm connected to 136 alumni. Right? But there's 16, close to 17,000 members in that group. So every month I try to sit down and connect to 20 more people in my alumni network.
How do you get to that page?
Follow the group. So if you go to Kent State or we can do a New York Life one. Next one, organizational, job, so look up New York Life.
Well, I'm gonna go to Michigan State.
Go for it. So next one, have you connected with everybody in
All
your,
right, I'm in the MSU alumni group.
perfect, click the alumni group, click the page,
There are 54,000 members.
perfect. Click see all,
Show
yep. And then, yep, there you go.
how do I know how many I'm connected to? I don't know how many people. How do I?
You can just start connecting to them because they're all there. Or you can click search to go to the top and hit search members and magnifying glass. And just search by name, or you can just start connecting.
That looks like I'm already connected to them, right?
Third degree is none. So
Oh, I see the
Yeah.
thirds.
look at Jaga County Public Library.
Got it.
Who all was a champion of the library staff? You were not allowed to answer. If you look up Jaga County Library, here's a fun fact. Anytime you look up an organization, this will hyperlink for you. And guess what? You can connect to every single staff member. How good would it make you feel at your business if someone sent you an email, state, right?
Mhm.
And said, Dave, I just want to thank you for all you do with assisted living locators. I'd love to connect and just show my appreciation. Guess what? That's under 140 characters. You just sent a personal invitation to someone in the business and made your day. And grew your network by say 50%.
Okay, so I can follow Jaga County Public Library, and then I can follow Eric, I know maybe here, and
Go ahead and click on Eric's name.
Yep.
And then click more and hit connect. And add a personal note. Yep. But you can find employees at every organization. So think of organizations in your community you want to be connected with. That's how you do it. Okay. Next, personal. Now, I know LinkedIn is professional, so other social media is personal. However, personal and professional can overlap. Here's how. We're going to play a fun little, remember I told you earlier I'd give you a hack with the search engine? Go ahead and hit your search engine and just do exactly what I did. Type in Chamber of Commerce and watch what comes up underneath. So if you type in Chamber of Commerce, you should have all these different bubbles come up. So are you looking for people who work for the chamber? Are you working for companies who were represented with a company page? Or are you looking for posts about chambers? What about a chamber group? So this is a way to find all those different groups. You might Google, last night I did it, Dana-Farber Cancer Research Institute. So Trails for Travis is an organization I work with. And I looked up Dana-Farber Cancer Research Institute because they're supporting the Boston Marathon, which in turn is supporting Trails for Travis. Long story short, the first 3 connections were all marketing people. I'm like, I didn't have any engagement. So I immediately connected. They were all second degrees because they knew someone in my alumni network. Connect. So 4 communities to consider that you are already a part of outside of LinkedIn to become a part of on LinkedIn. Your alumni network or your alumni community, whatever organizational community you're part of. Your personal communities, Chamber of Commerce, interests, and then professional. Yes,
I have a question.
shoot.
Is there a LinkedIn etiquette as far as, like, requests for connections?
I'd love that you asked.
Because sometimes I get randos and I'm like, why are you connecting with me?
Okay, so let's talk about this. For those on the call, if you've ever been sent a dating request that someone mistakenly thought LinkedIn was for Match.com, raise your hand.
I haven't.
I have.
You know, I
We
actually
have
had
dates.
dates. Like, I've met a few people and actually went on coffee dates.
So Lori is using LinkedIn as LinkedIn leveraging dates.
No, I'm not. And I'm like, and finally one person said, I'm not sure if you're interested. I said to them, I said, I don't know if you're looking at this from professional or personal, but I'm really only interested in a professional relationship. I never heard of that.
Aw.
So there is an etiquette, right? There is an etiquette. And LinkedIn does a spectacular job of locking down people who are creepy,
Yeah.
inappropriate. Ariel Lee and Brenda Miller's on our LinkedIn Live. I'm gonna ask Ken, I just totally forgot. Ken and Brenda and Ariel and Lee, there's a lot of them that there's actually a whole surge of LinkedIn experts who are working directly with LinkedIn to help stop some of the stalkerish behavior that's happening. Here's how we can curb that. Because I'm connected to Ken and I just can't remember his last name right now. So personalized invites matter. Personalized invites see an increase in, you ready for it? Acceptance. All right, now if I'm sitting in a room with you and I send you an invitation immediately, I'm not asking you to do it because we're literally face to face. But here's some best practices, okay? And here's why. We know that personalized invites make a difference. So if you're not listening here, or if you're on LinkedIn Live, walk with me. Always add a note. So you're gonna see this section here. It's gonna pop up every time you go to connect with someone. Would you like to add a note? The answer is yes. Indefinitely yes, 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 right? Then it's gotta be 140 characters or less. I'm gonna teach you a time-saving hack. Consider the 5 W's. So you either need to tell them what your reason is for connecting, who you are, why you'd like to connect, how you know each other, or when you last met. Think of those, okay? Kind of give them 2 of the 5 of like, hey, do you remember we met at a networking event? Yolanda and I connected with you at the WIN meeting. I know Sandra, we were at a B2B meeting together. I attended a meeting at John West Library, whatever the case is. So giving them a personal context, then giving them an action step. Just wanted to connect and engage on LinkedIn. Just wanted to connect and have virtual coffee. Just wanted to connect professionally, have a conversation about ... I'm interested in your work. I'm impressed with your experience, right? Say thank you. Hello, yesterday was World Gratitude Day, but I will get on a soapbox about this. Those 2 words are some of the most powerful in an invitation. There's nothing more irritating than me than, I want to connect with you because we're in the same group. That's all it says. I'm like, seriously? Did we forget common decency and manners? Right. Personal soapbox over. Next one. Fantastic hack. It is called Bristine. It works on a desktop. It is a Google Chrome extension where you can create sample shortcut emails that with 1 word and tab auto sync to LinkedIn. So you can fly through, and I'll show you how it works on my computer. All right, so here are the 3 templates I will recommend, and we'll create them later. You do a template for virtual or in person. So you're on a Zoom call, you drop in the Zoom chat, hey, great to meet you. Everybody feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Here's my URL. Remember, marketing as URL. Next template, common organization interests. Hey, I noticed we both support cancer research. Hey, I noticed we're both members of WIN. Hey, I noticed we both know people in the B2B community or the B&I community, right? Let's connect. Shared connection. This is one that sometimes irritates others. It doesn't bother me. Hey, I noticed we have some common connections in Cleveland, in Detroit, in Chicago, in New Jersey. I'd love to connect and know more about business. Right? Here are the 2 hacks. So let me pause for a second. Any questions on that part? Does that answer your LinkedIn etiquette question? Please don't be a stalker. Please use thank you.
But don't just blindly start.
Oh, no, because if they don't accept, if they don't accept, you can get put in LinkedIn jail.
Okay.
So if you want to know how to get out of LinkedIn jail, one of the customized personal skills that Brenda Miller has is helping you get out of LinkedIn jail. Okay. But like blasting people with just connect, and you have a percentage of those people who don't accept. LinkedIn's like, ooh, spam bot. You're in jail.
Oh, okay. So stop doing that.
So here are two LinkedIn hacks we're gonna go through. All right, first hack. On your phone or on your desktop, you can do this. Find any post in your newsfeed. So go back to the LinkedIn Square. Top left corner, go to LinkedIn Square. Click find any post that you find somewhat fascinating.
That I did.
Oh no, just anybody wrote that you find somewhat interesting. And click the three dots. And up should pop, save, copy, embed those options. And then click save. This is a hack for those of you who are like, I do not have time to be reading that whole doggone newsfeed, and I like to put thought into my posts. Lori and I talk about this a lot. Like there's certain parameters she has as a financial advisor that she cannot say, right? I mean, there's certain things Yolanda wants to be very poignant in her post because she is representing Win. She's also representing her podcast. She is representing Chuck's Fine Wines. So we want to be very intentional. There might be certain things you want to say from a senior living standpoint that you want to research later. When you hit save, if you're on your phone, you click your floating head, top left corner.
Just leave your picture on your phone.
And it'll say, so on your phone, you can view your profile. It'll show you, if you go to My Jobs, it should show you a saved feature there, or you can also find this on your home page here, because right now it's being irritable. Okay, so it's easier to do on your desktop, because for some reason the app must have been updated.
All right, so how do you do this?
On your desktop, go to the LinkedIn. Underneath your head, if you're on LinkedIn, underneath your head on the right hand, so if you're looking at your screen,
So I'm looking at my profile on my screen.
so left-hand side, you see your face, your header, who's viewed your profile, impressions. Then you have My Items. Click that bookmark. And then under that bookmark, you'll see saved posts, jobs, and other things. I bookmark that on my computer so that I actually have LinkedIn saved items as a bookmark on my own personal computer. And then what I do is I go to those posts later and reply, I share, I comment, but that's how I spend my 10 to 15 minutes every morning looking through the feed. I typically don't, if I don't have a post idea first thing in the morning because my coffee hasn't kicked in, I'm not going to post, right?
I don't see what you're talking about.
So
Yeah, how come
click
all of a sudden
plus.
I don't see
Like
my
this?
saved?
Click, oh,
Save used to pop up in here.
creator, like.
It did, didn't it? Yeah, it just must have, I did the same thing, yeah.
I have no idea.
It's nice and shiny.
Oh, right, oh, it's on the left-hand side, the feed, the left-hand.
So that's one hack. So saved posts are always great. If you haven't bookmarked it on our LinkedIn Live, I thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. I hope this has helped. Here's your next hack. This is the person that Sonia and I mentioned earlier. This is Lisa. I gave Lisa one hack. I said, okay, if you're nervous about posting, full disclosure, she's an introvert. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's on the line.
She's on the line. Oh, no, she couldn't make it today. She asked if it was being recorded.
Thank you. Yes. So LinkedIn Live is always recording, so I can share it with you later. Okay. So Lisa is fantastic. So Lisa started, I said, here's one hack. Do you remember earlier where I showed you the LinkedIn newsfeed on the right corner? I said, Lisa, once a week, find an article that resonates with you, share it, and ask a question to your network. That's all I'm asking you to do. 5 minutes in or something? She is now constantly featured because when you click this newsfeed in the top right corner, you pick an article, you can click share. But underneath the feed, LinkedIn has pulled in all other comments that they think are top ranked. If you know Stella Scalejack, who does Reimagine HR Consulting, Stella's also been featured in our local network because she did an incredible post on COVID liability and employers and law and all of that during the pandemic. there's a whole list of people. Guess what? You can follow those people, or you can connect with those people under those posts. Because if they're who LinkedIn is tracking, start getting them in your feed, right? You can also click share. Okay, so we're back. So that's the second hack. Hack 1 is save a post for later. Don't stress, save a post for later. Hack 2, go to the LinkedIn newsfeed. Ask a question of your audience like Lisa did, right? Now, so we've gone through 5 different types of people to connect with, 4 communities you're already involved in, 3 types of email draft or invite drafts to save, 2 hacks. Now, perhaps we're on to the last one. Could I get a personal commitment that everyone's going to do 1 post a week?
That's asking a lot, Megan.
So I work with,
So I'm here.
I work with a marketing person, and we are limited in financial services. And so I have a whole library of marketing material, and so we post 2 a week, and then on Saturday, I post a picture, like I took a picture, Sarah, of Megan and I the other day, not of you, of Megan.
Oh my God,
I spent the day with
ago.
you. But of Meg, you know, we were at this, and then I'm posting that on Saturday. And that's where I get the most hits, is on that Saturday personal stuff, showing me back around the community.
Here's the fun reason why. People like eyes. People love eye contact in posts. People also love inspirational quotes. It's crazy, right? We love to feel good. Here's what we know about feeling good in posting. So when you see a random act of kindness, your happy hormones, your serotonin, your dopamine, all of that kicks into high gear. It's a natural psych, literally neuropsych says, that's why we do random acts of kindness, or we pay it, why pay it forward works, is because when we see one positive post, then we want to post a positive. So when you're thinking about posting, please try to steer clear of the soapboxes. Okay? Keep it professional, keep it positive or productive. Those are that's kind of my mindset when I post. And hopefully those of you who are connected to me would say that most of the time I do that. Every blue moon I'm like, this is my customer service expectation. I'm gonna go off on people not doing this. But I try to stay professional, positive, and productive, right? LinkedIn actually made that crazy easy for you. Who likes being celebrated? Right? Cool hack. When you said start a post, you can literally click that little starburst, and then it comes up with, who would you like to celebrate in your network? Let me tell you how. Let me write the post for you. Let me add your hashtags. No joke. LinkedIn literally just made this as easy as putting in a person's name, clicking next. It comes up with a graphic already for you. Click next. It pre-writes the post for you and adds some hashtags. Yeah. In addition to this, if you click the 3 dots highlighted in the melon, then it comes up with add a photo, add a document. Do you want to share that you're hiring? It pre-crafts posts for you because they know that is natural anxiety. Posting and hesitating and having conflict over it is natural communication apprehension at its prime. We get nervous already being in public sometimes, right? Some people are nervous speaking in front of others. Fortunately, I'm not. Really surprised. But I love everybody else feeling elevated to post. Another hack to do, find a motivational picture, take a screenshot with your phone, post it. Say Motivation Monday, hashtag motivation, hashtag inspiration, hashtag quote of the day. If you're ever on another social media, I do this all the time. My friend Matt posted a great water bottle one last week, and I posted it to a job seeker group about determining your value. It's like a water bottle that you buy at the grocery store is 25 cents. Buy that same water bottle at the gas station, it's $1.25. Buy the same water bottle at a restaurant, it's $2. Buy it at the airport, it's $6. Your place determines your value. Right? So I took a screenshot, Matt's permission, made sure Matt's head was in it, posted it in a LinkedIn group, thanks to my friend Matt. Here's a great reminder for the day. Okay. People like professional, positive, productive. so we are flying through this. Those are some post hacks, right? So one post a week, we'll go through other activities you'll post before you leave, I promise. Here are some ways to engage with your community. So we're gonna follow it. And I will walk you through these. So engaging with your community is really kind of like this, okay? So, oh, wait a minute. We already talked about what you're following, right? Done. You can already do that. We also talked about connecting with more people. Done. You can already do that. Now you get to comment. If you're not posting, be sure you're commenting. 5 words or more. I do this all the time with Yolanda posts an event, tagging so my network can see, and then tagging Amy Vaughn or tagging Brenda Miller or tagging Sonia. I know if Sonia posts an event for Knitting for Cancer, I'm quick to say, sharing with my network. Could you please push this out? Eric does an event, tagging the library lovers in my network. That's 5 words or more, right? It can be as simple as that. Commenting so my network can see. Commenting so my network can see. You could literally type that all day, every day. If you type it, tag it, it throws it into your feed and then to the feed of the people that are following you. Crazy? 5 words or more. Questions help. I love this article. What was your favorite part? I love that event, Yolanda. Could you show me how to register again? Right? Oh, thank you for that tip on the locations in Geauga County for assisted living. Who else should I talk to about this? Kind of thing. Tag someone in the conversation. That's the @ sign. All right. Post. Post. Just once a week. Don't stress yourself out. Celebrate, motivate, or inspire. Ask or answer a question. Here's a question. People want to know, is there a research database for finding a senior living facility? Here are the 3 I go to reference what we do. Boom. You just answered a common question, right? People want to know how to find a resource at the local library. Do we have access to legal documents? Don't we have Gale legal forums? Fun fact. Asking or answering a question, Eric Colburn, the manager of this library, Geauga West, did a LinkedIn Live with me in February. It created a ripple effect of chambers going to their libraries and kind of going, I didn't know the library could help a business. Where Yolanda and I were like, seriously, but that's all. But hearing that LinkedIn Live, Eric answered the question of everything they do for businesses in the community. Ripple effect, the Parma Snow Road branch then worked with this chamber and now monthly is updating the Parma Chamber of Commerce with, here's a resource we have for businesses for free. Right? Express gratitude. Simply saying thanks moves milestones. With a follow-up, tag someone in your comment below with someone you want to thank in your network. My posts that get the highest engagement, I use that exact line.
For any of these, is it better to have breadth with it instead of just words, or because they didn't play in that? Or like Instagram, Instagram's all about photos.
Photos are always better. Graphics are always better, 400 by 400. Make it a square. Think about your phone, yeah.
I have a comment about this.
Yes.
I don't remember if it was you who started the chain or Tanya, but someone started like these people are rock stars chain. And then like those people said, yes, and these people are rock stars too. And I think I was like 3rd or 4th line down of rock stars. But that post like made my day. Like all day in my head, I was like, I'm a rock star. And then like, so of course you engage back. I'm like, oh, thank you. But it like, and I was like, that was brilliant because it was like a chain letter, but like, it was a good feeling.
Ooh, I love that analogy. So for those of you on LinkedIn Live, I'm sorry, like I said, 2 comments. So we're talking about this one, expressing gratitude or giving a shout out to someone. I call it, so Brenda has this great term called #social media karma. Write that down, #social media karma. And I'll show you how to find posts on that later. But the cool thing is, it's this ripple effect of energy, right? If I do something positive and I say, I'm challenging the 5 people to tag 5 people they know. Here's an insider trick too. I then go through that list and connect with all of those people if I'm not connected. Yolanda and I have used this all the time. Right? Challenge for kindness, #challenge. All right. Next one, share a post, podcast, or great read. Easy breezy. Eric Colburn does it all the time with books he's reading. just read this book, not the passive aggressive books that you pull off the shelf that you're like, I'm reading how to deal with conflict, coworker conflict. Do not post that one, okay? Or like dealing with the passive aggressive employee. Do not post that one, please. My favorite is, what is it? Conflicts with clients or something. Let's try to remember what we're posting, okay? But these are things to consider, right? The other thing, this is my favorite, and I'm going to cite Brenda again on a beautiful analogy she said. Consider, giving the gift of a response. So every time someone comments on a post you make, or they tag you in a comment, give them it's a gift. They've given you a gift. So say thank you in some way, shape, and form. Comment back, right? Because that comment creates a ripple effect. You felt good all day. Rock star walking around on cloud nine. Lisa blew up Sonia in my phone that first day she was featured in LinkedIn News. She, to the introvert in her, wild and crazy, right?
And it's amazing when it's done for her, because now her face is all over Facebook, and for being an introvert, she's on there every day. It's super simple, she just asks a question, or, I mean, it's nothing, but there's her face, and for somebody who's an introvert, just that little, it was enough to motivate her and inspire her to,
I love it. Yeah,
to do that.
it is, and it's so simple. Say thank you. Thank you for sharing this. I'll try to post it. Our friend Christopher Johnson does a Motivation Monday quote. During the pandemic, he caught himself walking every Monday and would share a quote, tell you the history of the person who quoted it. I would simply just say thank you. So shout out to Christopher Johnson, and I would just say thank you for sharing. That made my day, right?
I do that all the time.
You do?
Like, I'll respond and I'll say, make a comment, and then I'll put thank you for sharing.
Simple, right? Thank you for sharing this, 5 words. Simple, right? That's how the algorithm works, right? So as we wrap up, here's how I want to wrap up because we're at time. But this is what I want you to think of when you're thinking of engaging with your community, all right? It's the circle of kindness, right? It's the circle of communication. Follow, connect, comment, post, respond, repeat. Follow, connect, comment, post, respond, repeat. If you repeat these 5 things from communication, guaranteed, personal guarantee, your confidence will grow. All right? If you need, reach out to me if you have questions. If you're like, oh, I'm stuck, tag me in a post, I'll comment on it. Sonia does it all the time. Sonia I love it. And sometimes, and I'll be honest, I totally forgot some of them. Sonia will send me an email with like 4 graphics and say like, pick one, post for me. But it's the same thing. Eric will say, hey, I'm commenting, I'm going to tag you on it so that you can share it. There's Yolanda, Barb Daniels, Jill Wendelsbeck, Cindy Holzheimer, Karen Schaefer, and I consistently, you say at least once every 2 weeks or so, tag each other in a post to get it to spread, knowing that the one of us will jump on and continue to post and share. So following this cadence, 5 minutes every day, or 10, follow one company, connect to one person, comment on one post, post once a week, respond. Any questions? Yeah.
Tell me, when you search for someone's name,
Mhm.
you get results, and some of them will have first, second, third, dot. Is that the degree of separation?
Yeah.
Is that what that represents?
Yeah, so first degree connected to you. Second degree, there's someone between you and that person. Then third degree is they're in the LinkedIn universe.
I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, great question. Excellent question. Excellent question. So if you want to scan, you can, hold on. I'm gonna hit stop sharing. All right. And go back to my StreamYard that we're LinkedIn Living. If you joined us, thank you from LinkedIn Live. I am going to bid you a lovely farewell and post everything for each of you who attended. Hugs to all of you who attended. I am so grateful you were here. We're going to take Q&A from here. If you have other Q&A, be sure to link me, send me a message on LinkedIn. But until then, goodbye, my friends. All right, so I'm going to stop here. And